CBS News has exclusively learned that the Department of Homeland Security is developing a plan to quickly reject some asylum requests without interviewing the applicant. CBS News immigration correspondent Camilo Montoya-Galvez broke the story, and he joins me right now. Hey, Camilo, so how would this work?
Hi, good morning, Mugo. Well, typically the Department of Homeland Security, specifically asylum officers at DHS, interview every single person who applies for American asylum to determine whether they meet the legal definition of a refugee and to see if that person perhaps is a threat to public safety or national security. But according to the internal documents that we obtain, the Trump administration is drafting a regulation that would circumvent that longstanding policy and practice and actually allow asylum officers to quickly reject some applications without actually interviewing the applicants. And asylum officers would be eligible to do so if they find that that asylum application was filed a year after the applicant entered the U.S. So they're now enforcing a rule that says that asylum applications have to be filed within the first year of that applicant entering the U.S. That has been longstanding law, but before, at the very least, most applicants were able to go to an interview to explain why they filed that application after the one-year deadline. That could no longer be the case now under this regulation, and we should underscore that this is part of a broader campaign by the administration to restrict access to asylum, which Mugo, they believe, has been abused and also has been the subject of fraud by many applicants.
Camilo, I also want to ask you about that New Jersey immigration detention center that's seen intense clashes between protesters and police. What's the latest there?
Indeed, we have seen tense clashes between protesters, New Jersey residents, and law enforcement officials outside of the Delaney Hall ICE detention center in Newark, New Jersey over the past week since Memorial Day, after an outbreak, a hunger strike rather, allegedly broke out among detainees over substandard conditions. We have seen the protests there. We have seen clashes between police, state troopers, and the people protesting, and also counter-protesters. But over the weekend, law enforcement officials were able to reassert control of the situation, to establish a perimeter, and that was after Governor Mikey Sherrill of New Jersey, a Democrat, sent additional state troopers to the perimeter of the facility. Let's take a listen to what she said over the weekend.
Let me be clear. Violent, chaotic clashes hurt everyone. They put the lives of both protesters and law enforcement in danger. They take the focus away from people inside Delaney Hall and their families. And they raise the temperature with ICE. I will ensure public safety, and I refuse to give ICE an excuse to surge into our communities.
The Department of Homeland Security also announced over the weekend, Mugo, that it is reopening the facility, Delaney Hall in Newark, New Jersey, to family visitation for the relatives of detainees for the first time in a week. They had suspended that procedure because of the protests, Mugo.
Okay, Camilo Montoya-Galvez, thank you so much for your time today.